Hey guys, I'm here to teach you how to shoot day to night hyperlapse transition with the DJI Air 2S. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm scouting and trying to find the perfect location for the hyperlapse. And I'm sure you can hear background noise of cars moving, and that would be perfect because you would want to get motion blur in your shots, and then with car moving, you'll be able to achieve that. And also one thing to consider is you'd have to shoot, you don't need to shoot too early in the day. If you want to get a perfect or smooth transition, you need to shoot maybe close to sunset for the day portion, and that would make it better. Okay, so I'm flying to my first point in order to start setting the waypoint for our hyperlapse. Okay, so I'm trying to use the mall as my focal point for this hyperlapse. So I need to reposition it very well. Okay, I think here is fine with the mountains at the back. Yes, with the mountain view. So I need to come here a bit, adjust it a bit. So now I switch to hyperlapse mode. Down, so down, hyperlapse, and then I think I'm over exposed because I reduced my shutter speed. So I need to adjust my shutter speed according to my frame rate. So well, okay, I think I'm good. So now to set up my first waypoint, I need to go to the waypoint mode. Okay, so in this mode, then I can set my waypoint. I need to increase my altitude a bit to get the angle very right. Okay, so I hit my first waypoint, then I can move forward now. So I'm moving forward whilst reducing my altitude. Go forward a bit and I reduce my altitude. Also still keeping that building, the mall, as my focal point. So I need to rotate here a bit. I can still go forward and then still rotate a bit. Okay, can still go forward a bit. I think I'm good, and I can reduce my altitude a bit and then still rotate here a bit. Okay, I think I should go forward a little and then still reduce my altitude and then rotate it just a little bit. Okay, so now I can set this as my second waypoint, and then I can just fly, or just move forward to my last waypoint, like how I want it to be. So I need to still go back a bit, and then just keep it this way. And then now I want to increase my altitude while I was moving back to get that acceleration from the drone. You can just set it how you want it, but then I like it this way. I want it to be more cinematic with more movements in it. So, and then my camera rotation angle shows that I'm good. All the time you have to make sure it shows that you are good, because if you are not, you wouldn't even be able to set your waypoint. So now I'm good. I think this is fine, so I can just hit this as my third waypoint, and now I can just save it. So I go here and I'll just save it as day to night, and then just add this to differentiate it from the other projects. So I can save now. Okay, so now I think I'm good with what I have for my waypoint. Okay, so now I'm done setting up the waypoint, and it's approximately 2:30 p.m. so I'll need to go and then come back around 4:30 p.m. to shoot the day portion of the hyperlapse. So it's about 4:30 p.m. right now, and the sun is just about to set. So I think this is a perfect time for our first hyperlapse. That is the day hyperlapse, isn't it? Okay, so now I'm taking off and I'm heading to my first waypoint for the first hyperlapse of the day. I want to get closer to my first waypoint so that when I initiate the hyperlapse, the drone will automatically notice my first waypoint and then start the hyperlapse. Okay, so now I need to switch to hyperlapse mode, and then select waypoint, which is the last one, and then come here because I've already saved waypoint, so I can just select it, and then after selecting I need to reduce my shutter speed, and then also I have an ND filter 32 already on my drone because I'll be reducing my shutter speed, and then I want to reduce my shutter speed in order to get more motion blur. Okay, so now I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I'm good. And then okay, so I can just start my hyperlapse and the drone will move to my first waypoint. Now I found my first waypoint, so my hyperlapse will begin shortly. Okay, so we just finished our day portion of the hyperlapse, so we're just waiting for it to be completely dark, and then we come back again for the night portion of the hyperlapse. So now I'm flying to my first waypoint for the night hyperlapse. Okay, so now I switch to my hyperlapse mode, then I select waypoint, then I go to my saved hyperlapse, then I select our saved hyperlapse, that is a day to night OM. So I just click on it, then I set my shutter speed. I will select 1/4, and I think I should increase my ISO a bit because I think I'm underexposed here, so I can just increase my ISO. I think 400 is okay. I think 400 is okay for night with a low shutter speed, so I can just start now. So my drone will locate my first waypoint since I'm already close to my first waypoint. Okay, so now my drone will start taking the photos for the night hyperlapse. Okay, so now that I'm done capturing all my photos, I need to edit the photos for day to night hyperlapse. So I open the folder where I have all my photos, and then I just copy all and then just drag it to my Lightroom. I prefer to use Lightroom to edit my photos for Hyperlapse, but then you can use any photo editing software preferable. So now that all my photos are here, I just need to import, and then just wait for some few seconds for my import to be done. And then now that my import is ready, I just move to develop, because this is where I'll be editing all my footages. And now that my photos are here, I just need to do a little adjustment. And I like to use a split screen because it gives me a before and after preview, so that I'll be able to know my progress. And then the shortcut for that is Y on the keyboard. So now I just want to check my exposure to see if everything is okay. I think I'm a little underexposed, so I increase my exposure just a little bit, and then increase my contrast as well, just to balance it. And then I need to add a little saturation, just a little bit, because I don't want to be too oversaturated. And then I just add my exposure a bit. And then now I try to add an S curve just to give it that natural contrast. And then as you can see, just with these little adjustments, you can see difference between the before and after, because that is what you want. And then with the temperature, with this, I just want to make it a little cool. I don't want it to be too warm. I just wanted to give it that cool. I think this is okay. This is okay. There's not too much, because I'm doing this because I want to also keep the details in my clouds, because I don't want it to be overexposed. That is why I didn't increase my exposure too much. So just with this basic editing, you can just go from here. But then sometimes I just try to play around with the settings a bit to see if any of them will match it or make my work perfect. So now that I'm done with editing the first photo, I need to sync all the adjustments that I've done on the other photo. So I can just select my first photo, then Ctrl A to select the other photos, and then I just sync my photos. So I can just sync, and then the settings will be applied to all the other photos. So just wait for some few seconds for it to be done. Okay, so now that the synchronization is successful, I can just export my photos now. So I come here, export, and then select the folder where I want to import my I already have a folder created here, so I think I'll go with this folder. Select the folder, and then I can just export. Okay, so now that all my photos are exported, I need to do the same for my night photos as well. Okay, so now that we are done editing all our photos, we need to edit them in a video editing software. I like to use Premiere Pro, but then you can use any software preferable. So now I need to create a new project. So I select where I want my project to be saved. So I want it to be saved there. So like I just select this folder, and then I just give it a title. So there you go. And then just select OK. So now our project is opened. We need to import our files. So now let's start with the day portion of the Hyperlapse. So this is the folder where all my photos are, so I can just drag this into my project here, and then just wait for some few seconds for it to be imported. So after this, I can just drag this into my timeline, and then as you can see, it's just playing. So we need to do the same for our night hyperlapse too. So just locate the folder, just right here, just double check. Okay, so this is it. So I'll just drag this to my project as well. Okay, so then I just drag this onto my timeline just like I did for the previous one, and then as you can see, this is also playing just like how I want it to be. So the next thing to do is to select the first day hyperlapse, and then you can just nest this sequence. You can just nest this sequence, and then do the same for the second one as well, and then just nest the sequence too. So after this, now I need to change my sequence settings. So I like to use 24 frames per second, and then my frame size I would use 1920 as horizontal, and then 1080 as vertical. So I can just save this. Yes, so now that I'm done with this, now you can see that it has zoomed in a bit, but then we can just adjust that with the scale. So I can just scale it down here. I think 36 will be okay. Yes, that's right. So I'll just use the same for our second video too. 36. Okay, so now you can see I have the same proportion for both videos. Okay, so now I need to match both clips, so I can do that but by reducing the opacity of my first clip, which is right here. I can just reduce because I need to align my day shots with my night shots. So from here, so I'm getting a clear view of how my alignment is going to look like. So you can't really get it perfect, but just have to try your best to get it as close as possible. So you just need to be trying it out, and then so I think this is not bad. This is not bad for the first alignment, but we need to still make it. We need to try and then make sure it's a little closer to the original. So all I'm doing here is trying my best to match my day shots with my night shots in order to get a smooth transition. You wouldn't want to get any transition that would look so awkward and jerky. So that is what I'm doing here. Okay, so now I'm trying to align the first video with the second video. After doing all the adjustments, I think this is the best alignment that I've gotten so far. And the video is a little jerky, but that is not really a problem because we'll stabilize it at the latter part. Okay, so the next thing that I would be doing right now is to try and then make the transition from the day to the night. So I think I need to increase my opacity now that I'm done with the alignment. So you can just get it back to 100. Good. Okay, so now I'm looking for the perfect point that I want my transition to begin from. And I want my transition to begin from somewhere around here. So all I'll do is to select my first clip on top, that is a day hyperlapse, and then I come to opacity. This is where I'll be doing the transition. So we need to set some keyframes here. So then I select my first keyframe, and then I'll keep it as 100, and then go forward a bit, and then set another keyframe, and then change it to 0, because that's where my transition will begin from. Okay, so now let's see how the transition turned out. Okay, this is not bad. This is not bad at all. Okay, as you can see, transition was very smooth. Okay, so now our transition is ready, and then now we need to stabilize our clip because it's a little jerky. So just select clips, then go to effects, and then warp stabilizer. So you apply warp stabilizer on both clips, and then wait for some few minutes for the video to be stabilized.